On the day of our anniversary, I sat at City Hall with a marriage license application, and I waited for my fiancée all day long. It wasn't until the security guard told me they were closing that I saw my fiancée's new Instagram post. It was a selfie of her and some guy from her college, their faces pressed together. Her caption read, "Sometimes, the best things are found in the heat of the moment." Fire red heart. In the photo, her face was slick with sweat, and she and the guy were wearing matching workout gear. After the guard escorted me out of the building, I liked the post. A moment later, it was gone. My heart felt like a dead weight in my chest. I called my mom. "Mom," I said, my voice hollow, "I'm listening to you. I'm getting ready to come back home." That evening, Isabel Reed showed up at my rental apartment while I was clearing away leftover takeout. A week ago, in front of all our friends, she had said yes to my proposal. We had agreed to make it official today. I'd taken the day off work, booked a table in a nice restaurant, planning on a romantic candlelight dinner after we signed the papers. But I hadn't seen or heard from her all day. After leaving City Hall, I'd gone to the restaurant and had them pack up the meal to go. "Feeling generous tonight?" she quipped, dropping her keys on the counter. "6 dishes and a soup? You're the guy who orders extra veggies with his barbecue just to save a few bucks, using the excuse that you're on a diet." She always loved to mock me like that, a habit born from a lifetime of privilege. I never got angry, so she assumed it was harmless. Usually I'd play along with a joke, but this time I said nothing. Maybe she sensed something was off because her tone shifted. "God, I'm so tired. Caleb, can you give me a shoulder rub?" The word sorry didn't exist in Isabel's vocabulary. Whenever we fought, she'd ask me to do some small chore for her, a massage, cook a meal, do the laundry. It was her way of offering an olive branch, a task I could complete to signal that we were okay. And because I wanted to make up, I was always happy to do it. But not this time. "Why would you be tired?" I said, my voice flat. "You were out having fun with your college buddy, right? Playing ultimate frisbee. Hey, since when did you get so passive-aggressive?" "Fine, I admit it. I was playing frisbee with him." I nodded slowly. "And do you remember what day it is today?" "Of course I do. It's our anniversary," she said, completely unfazed. "But if two people love each other, every day is like Valentine's Day. Don't you think we love each other enough? Besides, I'm here now, aren't I?" She said it with such righteous indignation. I'm sure if she hadn't seen that I'd liked her Instagram post, she wouldn't have bothered to change her plans at all. She'd probably still be with him. I pressed on. "And besides our anniversary, what else was today supposed to be?" She frowned, thinking hard. Her eyes finally landed on the official-looking folder on the dining table. For the first time, a flicker of guilt crossed her face. "Oh God, I completely forgot we were supposed to sign the papers. But it's no big deal, right? A day earlier, a day later, what's the difference? We could just do it tomorrow. Look, I'll cancel my plans for tomorrow and go with you. How's that?" She wrapped her arms around my shoulders from behind, pressing her cheek against mine in a show of affection. I laughed, a bitter, empty sound. Go with me? When did getting married become a chore she had to accompany me on? I pushed her arms off me, because this afternoon, while I was waiting alone for her in the crowded halls of City Hall, this was the exact same way she had pressed her face against his. "Caleb, are you insane?" she shrieked. "You just pushed me." From the day we started dating, no matter how terribly she behaved, I had never laid a hand on her. She came for money, and I always figured that if I couldn't give her a better life, the least I could do was give her my unwavering patience. So now, just pushing her arms away was enough to make her fly into a rage. She furiously shoved the cheap dining table I'd bought on Craigslist. The corner of it slammed into my foot, shattering my big toenail. Blood instantly pooled on the floor. "Caleb, I didn't mean to. Are you okay? We have to go to the hospital." I clenched my jaw against the searing pain and stood up. "Go home," I said calmly. "I can go to the hospital myself." "I know you," she scoffed. "You're the guy who uses a coupon to buy me a coffee. You're not going to spend money on a hospital. Look, we're even now. You pushing me forgetting about the marriage license. So stop with the drama. Let's just go to the hospital." She grabbed my hand, but just then, her phone rang. As soon as she saw the caller ID, she instinctively turned and walked a few feet away before answering. "Yeah, okay, I'll be right there." She hung up and turned back to me. "Leo sprained his ankle. It's pretty bad. You know he lives alone. No one to take care of him. I have to go over there right now. You're a grown man. You can take care of yourself. Text me when you get back from the hospital. Let me know you're okay. I'll make time to go with you to get the license later." And with that, she rushed out the door. I didn't scream or protest her leaving. My heart was already ashes. Just as she expected, I bandaged my own foot and cleaned up the mess. That night, I packed a small bag. Looking at the new, unworn matching sweatshirts in my closet, I couldn't help but get lost in thought. After college, I chose to stay in Chicago to build a career. Isabel was my first manager. She was drawn to my meticulous work ethic, and I was infatuated with my beautiful, young boss. We got together quickly. It was only later that I learned her family owned the entire company. At first, her parents were vehemently against us, but Isabel insisted. For her, I turned down a better job opportunity back home. To shut her parents up, and to prove to everyone that I was worthy of her, I worked relentlessly, pouring everything I had into my career. But it always felt like we were from two different worlds. Take these sweatshirts. When I gave them to her, full of excitement, she just rolled her eyes. Caleb, we're not kids. Isn't this a little immature? Only insecure couples wear matching outfits to show the world how in love they are. That's why these sweatshirts, bought 3 years ago, still look brand new. For years, I've been bending over backward to fit her image of a mature, sophisticated partner. It wasn't until I saw that picture on Instagram today that I realized her maturity was reserved only for me. Looking back, I don't think she chose to be with me out of love. I think she chose me because she could control me completely. Fine. If I can't win, I can at least walk away. Lying in bed, I booked a train ticket home for a few days later. When I was serious about building a future with Isabel, my mind was filled with anxieties. The chasm between her family's wealth, the dismissive looks from her parents, the skepticism from her friends. These past few years have been agonizing. Coming from a small town, I could never understand why people would drink expensive, sugary lattes instead of cheap, healthy coffee. I understood even less why a proposal required a diamond ring that cost $20,000 but couldn't be sold for $2,000. And I had no room to negotiate. If I even tried to discuss it, it meant I didn't love her. Was my love for her really measured by the price of a ring? To avoid burdening my parents, I burdened myself. I never ordered food delivery. I dragged myself to work when I was sick, never daring to take a day off or go to the doctor. One trip to urgent care could wipe out weeks of overtime pay. I wouldn't buy new clothes until my old ones had holes in them. I took on the projects nobody else wanted. I thought if I just worked hard enough, I could stand next to this beautiful, wealthy woman and not feel so small. But even then, she rarely took me to gatherings with her friends. Our photos never once appeared on her Instagram feed. If you scrolled through her profile, you'd think she was a single, independent socialite. As a result, she always had suitors. I tried talking to her about it once, and it ended in a massive fight. Caleb, we're adults, she'd yelled. Can you stop being so childish? It's their business if they want to pursue me. Have I done anything with them? Maybe to reassure me. That following Valentine's Day, she posted a picture of us together. To me, that photo meant everything. It was a public declaration that she, Isabel Reed, was off the market. At least some of the vultures would see it and back off. I was ecstatic and even told a friend about it. His response was confusing. He said he hadn't seen any post from her. It was then I discovered she had set the post privacy to only me. My friend could only offer weak consolation, saying some women are just private about their relationships. And besides, she was always cold to other guys, completely focused on work. He told me to relax. If she didn't love me, she wouldn't be with me. And I would have believed him if Leo Vance hadn't returned from his studies abroad a year ago. Leo was a friend of hers from college. She had always looked out for him, and they were close. After returning to the States, the first thing Leo did upon getting a job in Chicago was contact Isabel. Right from the start, I was uneasy with how often they met. Leo is my friend from college. Isabel told me back then. We were in the same club. We're like brother and sister. He needs my help getting settled. Am I supposed to say no? Can you stop being so petty? That stung. Is it just helping him? I shot back. You spend more time with him than you do with me. You're always working late, she retorted. Am I supposed to hang around the office with you? What would our co-workers think? Besides, when I'm out with Leo, we're either playing ultimate frisbee or tennis. We're doing healthy, positive things. Why are you so jealous about that? Caleb, when are you going to grow up? To prove that she and Leo were just working out, she dragged me to one of their frisbee games that night. It was the first time I met him. He was tall, handsome, and radiated an effortless confidence. Standing next to him, a corporate drone bent out of shape by 80-hour work weeks, I felt like we were from two different generations. The first thing he said was a joke. Izzy, is this your uncle? I expected Isabel to immediately correct him and introduce me properly. Instead, she laughed along. This is Caleb, the guy I told you about. My boyfriend. He's a total wage slave, no comparison to a heartthrob like you. I brought him here today to show him what we do, so he'll stop worrying so much. Even though she acknowledged our relationship, her words felt like a slap in the face. What came next was even worse. Leo casually slung his arm around Isabel's shoulders. He grinned at me. Guess I should call you bro then. You're a lucky man, you know that? Izzy was the campus queen back in the day. Get your hand off her, I said, my voice ice cold. Leo dropped his arm, but Isabel's face immediately hardened. Caleb, what is wrong with you? It's the first time you're meeting him, and you're already making things awkward? Leo studied abroad. For foreigners, hugging and kissing are normal greetings. He just put his arm on my shoulder. Why are you overreacting? Leo, ever the good guy, jumped in to defend me. Hey, Izzy, don't be mad at him. He's never been out of the country. He's still got that old-fashioned, small-town mindset. Don't worry, I won't hold it against him. My fists clenched at my sides. I knew I probably couldn't win a fight against this tall, athletic guy, but his smug face made me want to plant my fist right in it. But then Isabel cut in. You hear that, Caleb? You should learn from Leo. Be more magnanimous. Stop acting like a scorned housewife, getting jealous over nothing. With that, they turned away to discuss the game, leaving me standing there. For the first time, I felt Isabel grind my self-respect into the dirt. Watching them laugh together, I had a fleeting, sickening thought. Isabel, whose girlfriend are you really? A few minutes later, the game started. Isabel had warned me that as soon as I caught the disc, I had to throw it to Leo. But it was my first time playing, and my body wasn't built for it. I was clumsy. I swear, I didn't mean to run into him. 5 minutes into the game, I collided with his leg. He crumpled to the ground with a pained expression. He looked less like a 6'1" powerhouse and more like a delicate flower. His teammates rushed to help him up, while Isabel stormed over to me. Caleb, she screamed, her voice dripping with contempt. If you have a problem with Leo, say it to his face like a man. Why resort to such dirty tricks? If he's seriously hurt, you're going to be held responsible. I didn't even know how to play the game. I was so afraid of messing up that I was being extra careful. I had no idea how I'd manage to hit him, or how I, a man 30 pounds lighter, could knock him over so easily. All I knew was that my actions had unleashed Isabel's fury. She stood there, chewing me out, completely destroying my dignity in front of her friends, painting me as some kind of scheming villain. To make matters infinitely worse, Leo fanned the flames. Bro, I already apologized to you earlier. Now you've knocked me down, so you should feel better, right? If you're still mad, you can yell at me some more, or even hit me. I just beg you, please don't make things hard for Izzy. I felt like I was choking on my own words. I was so overwhelmed with indignation, I could barely breathe. I wished I had 1,000 mouths to explain myself, but it wouldn't have mattered. Isabel marched up to me, shoved me hard in the chest, and snarled. This Caleb, this is why I never want to bring you out with my friends. We are on completely different levels. All you ever do is cause trouble. Just go. Stop embarrassing me. She was right. It was embarrassing. I left the field under the weight of their judgmental stares and whispered comments. Later, Isabel demanded that I go to the hospital and formally apologize to Leo. From that day on, I avoided any event where Leo would be present. I felt that anything I did in front of him would just be another opportunity for my own humiliation. In my absence, their behavior only grew more brazen. Isabel started wearing matching workout clothes with him and even posted pictures of them together on her Instagram. I confronted her about it, our argument escalating into a shouting match. I asked her why she couldn't just grant me the small mercy of not having to see it. Did she want me to retreat into a shell like a tortoise to be satisfied? Her explanation was that their Frisbee League had forfeits for the losing team. The photos were a punishment dreamed up by the winners. She felt no guilt whatsoever and even threatened to block me if I couldn't be a good sport about it. Well, now she has her wish. She can block me. She can block me forever. My foot was fine, and I was at work on time the next day. I had planned on resigning immediately, but I'm a professional. I had one last deal to close, and I didn't want to leave it half finished. That evening, I arranged to meet with a few clients, first for dinner, then for some karaoke. Before I left the office, Isabel called. How's your foot? Did you see a doctor? It's nothing serious, I said evenly. Don't worry about it. Okay, good. About the marriage license, we can talk about it when we have time. Wait for me at the office after work. I'll pick you up. I'm meeting some friends for dinner. You guys go ahead. I'm not coming. My refusal clearly stunned her. In the past, I was always the one begging her to include me in her social circle, to let people know we were together, only to be shut down with a variety of excuses. Now, she was inviting me, and I was turning her down. Caleb, did I hear you right? She asked, incredulous. You're not coming? Who do you think you are? Do you think I actually want you to come? I'm offering you an olive branch, you idiot. Can't you see that? You're right. I'm an idiot. I can't see it, I said flatly, and hung up. Arguments are for people who still want to work things out. I had no desire to argue with her anymore. After work, I took a cab to the restaurant and laid out my proposal for the clients. We had a great discussion. One of the clients, an attractive woman, seemed particularly impressed with me. She respected my abilities and didn't pressure me to drink. After dinner, we moved on to a karaoke bar. In our private room, the drinks flowed freely and the atmosphere grew friendly. She casually asked if I had a girlfriend. I replied, "It's all the same whether I do or not." "What does that mean?" "You either do or you don't. How can it be the same?" I looked at her and asked, "What if I have a girlfriend who doesn't respect our relationship? Who doesn't respect the effort I put in? In that case, does it really matter if I have one or not?" She looked at me with the gentle wisdom of an older sister. "Then you should know when to cut your losses. Why waste your time on the wrong person?" Just then, the other clients roped us into a game of spin the bottle. As luck would have it, the female client landed on give a hickey to the person next to you. And the person next to her was me. In that karaoke room, I closed the deal. I went home with a signed contract and a kiss mark for my client on my neck. I took a shower, washing away the smell of smoke and alcohol. With this last piece of business done, I could finally leave this city with a clear conscience. Just as I was thinking this, the apartment door opened. There stood Isabel, propping up a drunk Leo, looking at me helplessly. "Caleb, what are you staring at? Get over here and help me." This wasn't the first time she had brought Leo to my place. Her parents were strict, and she had to be back at her own home every night before her curfew. So whenever Leo was sick or drunk with no one to look after him, she would dump him on me. In the past, out of respect for Isabel, I would have reluctantly helped. But now I just stood there, watching her struggle, my face a mask of indifference. Isabel finally managed to wrestle Leo onto the sofa and turned to me, exasperated. "Caleb, did you not hear me? I told you to help me. Why are you just standing there? You want a reaction?" I pointed at the unconscious man on my couch. "Who told you to bring him here? The same way you got him in, you can get him out. Otherwise, I'm throwing him out myself." Isabel stared at me, her expression one of pure disbelief, as if she couldn't trust her own ears. "Caleb, have you lost your mind? Do you know who you're talking to?" Then, her eyes locked onto my neck. Her face contorted with rage. "What is that hickey on your neck? No wonder you didn't want to have dinner with me tonight. You were out with some other slut, weren't you? Caleb, I was so blind. How could I have fallen for a two-timing piece of trash like you? Where is she? I'm going to rip her to shreds." Her reaction was explosive. She stormed into my bedroom, then barged into the bathroom, searching for this imaginary woman. I wasn't kidding. While she was on her rampage, I grabbed Leo by the shoulders and started dragging him toward the door. "Caleb, let go of Leo," she shrieked. "First, you explain yourself. Why do you have a hickey on your neck?" I didn't bother answering. Instead, I gave her an ultimatum. "This is my apartment. This man is drunk and entered my home without my permission. That's called trespassing. If you don't get him out of here right now, I'm calling the police." "Caleb, you wouldn't dare." "Watch me." I pulled out my phone and dialed 911. "Caleb, if you dare to call the cops, I'm breaking up with you." It wasn't the first time she'd used that threat. In the past, whenever I did something that displeased her, she'd pull out that line, and I'd always be the one to surrender. But this time, my only response was to speak into the phone. "Yes, hello. I'd like to report a disturbance. A drunk man has broken into my apartment, and I feel my life and property are in danger. My address is..." "Caleb, you win." Isabel couldn't believe I'd gone through with it. Fuming, she hauled Leo out of my apartment. It turns out that a little cold indifference can solve most of your problems. Why would I be afraid of her breaking up with me? When she forgot about our wedding day to go play frisbee with Leo, our relationship was already over in my mind. The next morning, I went to the office as usual and wrapped up all my pending tasks. I was ready to resign, but not before having one last meal in the company cafeteria. For $10, you got one meat dish, 2 vegetable sides, unlimited rice, and a complimentary bowl of what we jokingly called dishwater soup. Whether my salary was $2,000 a month or over $10,000, I was always its most loyal customer. As I ate, tears started to well up in my eyes. This $10 meal wasn't just food. It was a taste of all the hardship and struggle I had endured over the past few years. After lunch, I was heading to HR to submit my resignation when Isabel stormed into the office and started a scene. She marched right up to me, yanked at the collar of my shirt with the clear intention of exposing the hickey on my neck for everyone to see. "Caleb, if it weren't for me, do you think you could have worked at my family's company for this long? And now that you think you've made it, you have the nerve to cheat on me. How dare you show your face at work after doing something so shameful? Do you really think you're some kind of big shot now? Do your colleagues know you've worn the same shirt for 3 years? Do they know you have holes in your underwear?" Isabel laid my poverty bare for all to see. Her tirade sparked a flurry of whispers and sideways glances. Damn, Caleb's got balls. Dating the boss's daughter and cheating on her at the same time. Playing with fire. I asked him once why he always wore the same shirt. He told me he bought 3 identical ones. Turns out he was lying. He makes like $8,000 a month, right? Why is he so cheap? Where does all his money go? Yes, where did my money go? Why was I so frugal? They only saw me dating the boss's daughter. They didn't see me paying for gas in Isabel's car, paying for her dinners, not to mention saving for an engagement ring, a dowry, a down payment. If I didn't push myself, was I supposed to push my parents? I never imagined that everything I did for her would become the very weapon she used to attack me. The gossip cut like a knife. I felt a sharp, painful clarity. I had to cut ties with Isabel immediately, seeing that she had everyone on her side. A triumphant smirk spread across Isabel's face. She crossed her arms, her chin held high. Caleb, she commanded, if you want to keep your job, you'd better explain yourself right now. And you'll tell me who that tramp is. I want to ask her to her face why she loves seducing other people's men. Otherwise, I'm having HR fire you this instant. I let out a cold laugh. Fire me? Wasn't that exactly what I wanted? Okay. Isabel blinked. What did you say? I didn't hear you. I said okay. I repeated, my voice clear and steady. You want to fire me? Please do it. Right now. Isabel's face turned crimson with fury. Caleb, you bastard. Are you really going to throw away your entire future for that whore? Do you want me to break up with you? Is that it? Isabel, do you really think that if you threaten to break up with me, I'll come crawling back like I always have? You still don't get it. From a moment I waited for you all day at City Hall while you were off playing frisbee with your college buddy, we were already done. She looked at me as if I were a stranger. Caleb, you do realize that if we break up, I can find someone better in a heartbeat, right? I know. There's probably no man in the world worse than me. So please, don't torture yourself anymore. Break up with me and go run off into the sunset with your dear friend. When you get married, let me know. I'll send you a generous gift. The die was cast. The news quickly reached her parents, who instinctively sided with her and hurled insults at me over the phone. They call me a leech, an ungrateful snake. My resignation was processed with lightning speed. The moment I walked out of that building with my box of personal belongings, the air felt cleaner, fresher. This, I thought, must be the taste of freedom. Since I was leaving, I invited a few friends out for a farewell dinner. They joked that this old tightwad was finally opening his wallet and asked if I was about to ask them for money. I told them the truth. I was leaving Chicago and moving back home. After they heard the whole story, they all tried to talk me out of it. Their advice a jumble of well-intentioned nonsense. Dude, she has a bit of a princess complex, but aren't all women like that these days? Isabel is gorgeous, and her family is loaded. If you marry her, you'll be set for life. Just hang in there a little longer. So, she's a little close with that college friend of hers. Big deal. Every girl has a guy friend these days. You just have to learn to look the other way. You know what they say, ignorance is bliss. My heart was numb. I didn't care if they were trying to help or not. We talked late into the night before I finally headed home. When I got to my apartment, I froze. A woman was curled up against my door, fast asleep. I looked closer and my stomach dropped. It was Isabel. There were tear stains on her cheeks, and she looked utterly exhausted. She didn't even stir as I stood over her. I nudged her awake. Wake up. If you want to sleep, go home. What are you doing at my door? Isabel's eyes fluttered open. She immediately grabbed my arm. Caleb, she pleaded, are you really breaking up with me? I gave a bitter laugh. Weren't you the one who publicly humiliated me, threatened to fire me, and broke up with me? Caleb, you know I was just angry. I've threatened to break up with you before. Well, have we ever actually broken up? I didn't want her making a scene in the hallway, so I let her inside. When she saw my packed suitcase, her eyes widened. We're just having a fight. Why did you pack a bag? This is your home. Are you planning on running away? I shook my head. A place with a sense of belonging is a home. Before, I at least had you in this city. Now, I have nothing. So, I'm going back to my real home. Her voice trembled. Caleb, please don't talk like that. I'm hurting. The reason I acted that way today was because I care about you. Because I don't want to lose you. You don't want to lose me. So you tear me down in front of everyone? Let's be honest. You don't want to lose me. You want to show everyone how well-trained your little pet is. After being publicly humiliated by you, I continued, I'm still supposed to get on my knees and beg you to pat me on the head. But I would rather lose you than lose my dignity. My words hit her like a physical blow. She scrambled for a defense. Caleb, I have never, ever thought that. You're my boyfriend, the man I'm going to marry. How could I possibly think of you like that? Please, can we just stop fighting? We'll go to City Hall tomorrow and get the papers signed. I know you don't like Leo. I'll stop seeing him, okay? I stared at her. It's not the first time you've known I don't like Leo. So why did you go play frisbee with him? Why did you post that photo of the two of you on Instagram? Because, she stammered, unable to find an answer. I cut her off. Let me answer for you. It's because Leo looks good on your arm. He makes you look good. A boring, dependable guy like me, on the other hand, is better suited for domestic life. So, you want me at home waiting for you, but you want him on your arm when you go out. Tears streamed down her face. Whether from indignation or guilt, I couldn't tell. It didn't matter. To me, they were just crocodile tears. We said everything that needs to be said. If there's nothing else, Ms. Reed, you can leave. From now on, you and Leo can do whatever you want. There's no one left to bother you about it. She grabbed my hand, trying to explain further, but I pulled away. Ms. Reed, please be mindful of your actions and our current relationship. We are not boyfriend and girlfriend, nor are we colleagues. There is no reason for us to be holding hands. Not everyone lacks a sense of boundaries like you do. She shot back. You're talking to me about boundaries, Caleb? You have a nerve to talk about boundaries when you let another woman leave a hickey on your neck. A hickey is nothing, I said coldly. What about the matching tattoos you and Leo got? Did I ever say a word about that? I already explained that. The tattoos were a penalty for losing a frisbee game. Fine, if it bothers you that much, I'll deal with it right now. Her tattoo was a small smiley face, no bigger than a postage stamp, on the inside of her arm. She dug her fingernails into her own skin, scratching at it. At this point, her self-inflicted drama just made her look pathetic. I forced her out of my apartment. No matter how hard she pounded on the door, I didn't soften. I had some time before my afternoon train, so I went to a market to buy some gifts for my parents. As soon as I arrived, I got a call from Isabel's parents. They screamed at me through the phone. Apparently, Isabel had been in a car accident the night before. She had a broken leg and was in the hospital. Emotionally, I owed her nothing, but she had gotten into the accident right after leaving my apartment. Out of a basic sense of human decency, I decided to go see her. When I got to the hospital, I saw Leo in her room. I was about to turn and leave when I heard Isabel's voice, sharp and clear. Leo, we shouldn't see each other anymore. Why? Leo demanded, his voice filled with confusion. Because of Caleb? But you two already broke up. You didn't care about his feelings when you were together, and now that you're broken up, you're suddenly cutting me off? I saw Isabel's expression shift. Hearing Leo's words seemed to finally force her to reflect on her own behavior. He pressed on. You told me that a dependable, boring guy like Caleb was lucky to be with you, that you were the only one who could ever break up with him, that he would never dare. You said that even if you two got married, it wouldn't affect our relationship. What relationship? Isabel snapped. We were just friends. Workout buddies. Friends, Leo said, his voice laced with bitterness. Izzy, you posted our pictures together. You got a matching tattoo with me. You wore matching outfits with me. Everyone in the Frisbee circle thought we were the couple. His words made Isabel gasp for air. No, that's impossible, she cried out. I was just close with you. We weren't a couple. Why has no one ever said this to me before? Did they need to? It's how we always acted. Izzy, I'm not going to lie. I've been in love with you for a long time. Isabel stared at him, stunned by his sudden confession. You gotta be kidding me. We've always just been like brother and sister. I'm not kidding, Izzy. That time we took Caleb to play Frisbee, I put my arm around you on purpose. I let him knock me down on purpose. I wanted to see what you would do. And just like always, you cared for me. You protected me. The other day, when your coffee table broke his toenail, you left him to come take care of my sprained ankle. I knew then that I was more important to you than he was. I have to have you. Now that you two are broken up, can't we finally be together? Leo reached for Isabel's hand, but she slapped it away and then struck him across the face, calling him a bastard. She tried to get out of bed, but stumbled and fell to the floor. Tears streamed down her face as she sobbed, calling out my name over and over. A sense of release washed over me. I smiled, turned, and walked away from the hospital without ever setting foot in her room, without giving her the chance to apologize. I deleted and blocked every trace of Isabel Reed from my phone. On the train ride home, the past few years played out in my mind like a movie. The good, the bad, the bitter, and the sweet. They were all a part of the person I had become. After I got back to my hometown, Isabel kept trying to contact me, using new phone numbers and social media accounts. She sent endless apologies and explanations, begging for another chance. I ignored them all. Eventually, she gave up and came to my city to find me. To finally cut the cord, I changed my number. In a city this big, a meeting that isn't meant to be will never happen. I hoped that when Isabel was crying my name in that hospital room, it was not just out of guilt, but also out of a genuine awakening. At the very least, I hope there will not be another victim after me. May everyone in this world who gives their heart sincerely never have it be taken for granted. N.